A controversial food item, and that is the egg. There's been a lot of controversy over the egg over the years, saying that if you have too many eggs, you're going to die of a heart attack, you're going to die of high cholesterol, or you're just going to plain out die from eating the eggs. And that's just a myth. I don't know who came up with that idea, but it's ridiculous. In fact, the egg is the most balanced food there is in terms of the protein and the fat ratios. There's actually good cholesterol in the egg that your body needs on a daily basis, and that's very important. The idea of taking the egg, the yolk out of the egg is really stupid. Whoever came up with that idea is, I don't know who it is, but they should be shot, because the idea of taking out the yolk, of taking out the vital nutrients of the egg and throwing it away and just having the egg white, it doesn't do much. And in fact, you're not even getting the protein, because when you do that, you're taking the fat out, and the fat must bind with the proteins to get hydrolyzed through the liver so that the protein can get absorbed into the bloodstream. Now, when you take the fat out, you lose that ability, and what ends up happening is the egg white from the protein from that egg is actually going to get converted into sugar. So the sugar will actually get into the blood system, so you're not really getting much of the protein. So it's kind of a counterproductive thing if you think that you're trying to cut down your sugar content. You're actually going to convert the egg white into sugar. And so, like when people do their egg whites and oatmeal mix, what they're actually doing is just taking high carbohydrates. So they're actually filling up their system with sugar, and so that's why they feel like that full feeling. Like bodybuilders would do this because they think it's an idea of they're going to get actually more ripped and more defined. But what they're actually doing is they're just increasing more sugar into their system, but their muscle is absorbing the sugar, so it gives them that full feeling, so they get more pumped up, but it's not really taking in the protein that they want. So they have to be careful, especially when they're dieting down, that they continue to get a good protein source into their system, because then they're going to start to waste away their muscle tissue. So that's the idea on that. But the idea of eating eggs is great, because an egg is the most balanced food that I know of. If the only food that I could eat on the planet, and someone told me you have the choices of all these different foods, I would choose the egg, because it's the most balanced food there is. You want to keep the yolk and the white intact, because also the yolk is very important, because it helps the structure of the cell membranes. The composition of the egg itself kind of helps with the cell membrane repairability and development of the cells. It also, there's a chemical called choline, which is also responsible for that. That's where the actual mechanism of the egg is working through the choline. Choline helps the structure of the membranes of the cell. And so that's a very important nutrient. Also, choline is going to help protect the liver from accumulating too much fat. This is very important. This is the whole idea. If you take away the choline, now we're losing out on a very important nutrient that can actually help clean out the liver. Even though we have choline in our system, it's always nice to get it through, excuse me, through an external source as well, so you can keep the system kind of flushed. Also, choline is very important for a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which is very important for muscle contraction. So for people that are bodybuilding and lifting weights, this is a very important neurotransmitter, and so we want to be able to manufacture that in our body, and we need choline to help that. So there's a lot of value to the egg. I would not throw away the yolks. Someone asked me one time, how many eggs do I eat a day? I was working with Vince Gironda probably about 20 years ago, and I was up to almost 3 dozen eggs a day. And I thought it was crazy too, but it was amazing the results I got. I don't recommend that for everybody. That's just for me. That's what Vince wanted me to do, and so I listened to my mentor, and I did what he wanted me to do, and I saw the results I wanted to get from it. But on average, a person who's not really bodybuilding and doing things, you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 eggs a day. Or 2 or 3 eggs 3 or 4 times a week. But I have eggs every single day. I'm up to a dozen eggs a day, so I kind of maintain that throughout the year. If I ever want to get more muscle definition, more muscle tissue, then I'll up my intake. I can probably go back up to 3 dozen eggs as I get closer to a contest. But that's just me. That's how my body works. I've never seen any changes in my blood cholesterol. heart problems or anything like this from eating the eggs. Been doing it for 27 years, so I'm still here, still alive. And but again, you have to kind of figure out what intake you need is going to help satisfy your needs. Again, I don't advocate everybody doing what I do, but you got to kind of figure out what works best for you, as long as you know that the egg is safe. And it's a great food source, and I recommend it for anybody. Some people are allergic to eggs, then obviously you're not going to have eggs. I mean, use common sense, but for those that can eat eggs, you want to get the real range-free eggs. They're also going to contain omega-3 oils, or omega-3 fats in the egg, and that's a very important fat as well. So I'll be discussing that later in another segment. But for right now, I just want to say, go out and get cracking. And you want to get those eggs into your system. All right, take care. Good day.